Good morning everyone. Today we will study chapter 7, Conservation of Plants and Animals. In this chapter we will study about conservation, biodiversity, what is significance of biodiversity, what are the reasons for loss of biodiversity. Then we will see conservation of forest and wildlife. What are protected areas? Migration, deforestation and reforestation, etc. So let's start the chapter. As the chapter is about conservation, so what do you mean by conservation? Conservation means wise and judicious use of natural resources. In this chapter, we will study how we can conserve plants and animals and what is the need to conserve plant and animals. So let's start with few important terms. First is biodiversity. Biodiversity means the great variety of all living organisms including plants, animals, microorganisms found on earth, their interrelationships and their relationship with the environment is known as biodiversity. So what is the significance of the biodiversity? As we know that biodiversity means the great variety of all living organisms, their interrelationships and their relationships with the environment. So what is the significance of biodiversity? Let us try to understand. All the components in nature are interdependent. That means all the components in nature are dependent on each other. They are always interacting with each other through food chain, food webs, etc. And any disturbance to the living or non-living components of the ecosystem will cause drastic adverse effects on all other organisms. Therefore, to maintain perfect balance, we have to conserve our biodiversity. Now we will see the another important term, species. A group of populations which are capable of interbreeding with each other and reproduce a fertile or viable offspring within their population is called a species. This means that the members of a species can reproduce fertile offspring. Offspring means baby. Only with the members of their own species and not with the members of other species. And very important, members of a species have common characteristics. Now see what is ecosystem. All the living components like plants, animals and microorganisms along with the non-living components such as climate, soil, river, etc. and their interactions among themselves and with each other form an ecosystem. Now, before understanding reasons for loss of biodiversity, let us see some more important terms like flora and fauna. The plants and animals found in a particular area are termed flora and fauna of that area. Together, the flora and fauna of a place form the biodiversity of a place. For example, mango, jamun, silver ferns, arjun, etc. are the flora of Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. And like blue bull, barking deer, cheetah, leopard, etc. are the examples of fauna of Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. Now, after understanding flora and fauna, what is the meaning of endemic species? Species of the plants and animals found exclusively in a particular area are called endemic species. That means the endemic species, they are restricted to a particular geographic region and they are not found anywhere else. They are not found naturally anywhere else. And a particular type of animal or plant, it may be endemic to a zone or to a state or a country. So what are the endemic species? Species of the plants and animals found exclusively in a particular area are called endemic species. Now, after understanding these important terms, now we will see what are the reasons for the loss of biodiversity. Number one is the growing population of urbanization. We know that human population is growing at a very fast rate. So with the growing population, the need of the population is also increasing, because of which we are cutting trees. We are cutting trees, which is resulting in the deforestation. Second is the overgrazing. Overgrazing by animals makes the fertile land barren. Okay, barren means unfertile. Next is conservation of dams and reservoirs. Conservation of dams and reservoirs, it destroys the natural habitats of wildlife. Next is acid rain. We know that with the urbanization, pollution with the population, pollution is also increasing, and this pollution, it results in acid rain, and which causes severe damage to wildlife and aquatic life also. Next is the hunting for commercial purposes. So these were some reasons for the loss of biodiversity. So now, after understanding reasons for the loss of biodiversity, now we have understood that there is urgent need to conserve the forest and wildlife. So let's talk about that. So we know that with all the dangers to loss of biodiversity, it has become highly important to adopt some measures and ways to protect wildlife and to increase their number. International Union of Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN, is now known as World Conservation Union. It keeps a record of all the threatened species of the world. IUCN categorized the species into 9 categories on the basis of the size of population, rates of declining populations, etc. And some of these species are discussed here. Number 1 is threatened species. Some species of the plants and animals, they have greatly reduced in number in their natural habitat. So they are either at the edge of extinction or likely to become extinct. Extinct means to lose any species for forever. That means the extinct species means the species which have been lost forever. So such type of species that have greatly reduced in number in their natural habitat and they are likely to become extinct are called threatened species. Next is endangered species. These are the species which are in the danger of extinction in the near future. And if the unfavorable factors for these are allowed to continue, they will become extinct. For example, Asiatic lion, blue whale, etc. Next is the vulnerable species. These are the species which are likely to become endangered in the presence of causative factors. Causative factors means the factors which causes something. So a vulnerable species is a species which is likely to become endangered unless the circumstances that are threatening its survival and reproduction improve. Now we will study about the rare species. Rare species means the species which are existing but very low in number. For example, golden cat, monk seal, etc. Here, these are some examples for vulnerable species like blackbird, golden langur and chinkara. These are the vulnerable species. And golden cat, monk seal and Indian pied hornbill, these are the rare species. Rare species means the species which are existing but are very low in number. Next is the extinct species. Extinct species means these are the species of the plants and animals which have been lost forever. And a species once lost, it cannot be retrieved. For example, Siberian tiger, Indian cheetah. These are the extinct animals. And these are the examples of extinct plants like Brahma Kamal, Sarpagandha, etc. Now we will talk about protected areas. Very clear from the name, protected areas means the areas which have been created for the welfare of wildlife, or we can say for the protection of wildlife. These are the areas that are created for welfare of wildlife like national parks, sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. These are the protected areas which we will study now. These protected areas are set up by the government. Government lays down rule, methods and policies to protect and conserve them. Number one is the biosphere reserves. These are the large areas of protected land for the conservation of wildlife, plant and animal resources and the traditional tribes living in that area. Tribals, they follow the mode of sustainable development. Means tribals obtain useful products from wildlife and in return protect the wildlife present in that area. Biosphere reserves are the areas which help to maintain the biodiversity and culture of that area. A biosphere reserve, it is very big, area wise it is very big, and a biosphere reserve may also contain other protected areas in it. For example, the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. The Panchmari Biosphere Reserve in the Madhya Pradesh it consists of one national park named Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries named Boris Wildlife Sanctuary and Panchmari Wildlife Sanctuaries. So this was about the Biosphere Reserve. Now we will see what are national parks. National parks are the areas which are strictly reserved for the betterment of wildlife. Here the animals can freely use the habitat and the natural resources. And in the national park, human activities like forestry, grazing, cultivation are prohibited. Prohibited means these activities are banned. National parks help in preserving flora, fauna and historic objects of these areas. Like rock shelters are found inside the Satpura National Park. These rock shelters are the prehistoric evidences of the human life in these jungles. Rock paintings are also found in these rock shelters. And the figures of animals and men fighting, hunting, dancing, playing musical instruments are depicted in these paintings. Now we will study about wildlife sanctuaries. These are the areas which provide protection and suitable living conditions to wild animals. These are the areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them and their habitat. Wildlife sanctuaries are used to increase the population of the animals which are on the verge of extinction. Verge of extinction means they are likely to become extinct. And in these areas, poaching or capturing of animals is strictly prohibited. But the activities like harvesting of timber and collection of minor forest products is allowed. Now you might have one confusion, then what is the difference between national parks and wildlife sanctuaries? If I talk about the difference between these two, national parks are bigger in size area-wise. National parks are area-wise bigger as compared to wildlife sanctuaries. And in national park, there are more restrictions as compared to wildlife sanctuaries. So now let's talk about the Forest Acts. Government of India passes several forest acts which aim to preserve and conserve natural forests and meeting the basic needs of the people living in the forest or nearby forest. For example, Wildlife Act was passed in 1972 and National Forest Policy was passed in 1988. Next is Project Tiger. Project Tiger is a wildlife conservation project. It was initiated in 1972 to protect the Royal Bengal tigers. And this project, it was launched by the government. And the objective of this project was to ensure the survival and maintenance of the tiger population in the country. Next is migration. Migration refers to regular seasonal journeys undertaken by many animals. Migrations include movement of varied distances made in response to change in food availability, habitat or weather. So the migratory birds, They fly to faraway areas every year during a particular time because of the climatic changes. They fly for laying eggs as the weather in their natural habitats becomes very cold. So the birds who cover long distances to reach another land are known as migratory birds. Here you can see these are the figure of some migratory birds. Next is deforestation. Clearing of the forests and using that land for other purposes is called deforestation. Now let us try to understand what are the causes of deforestation. We know that as the population is increasing at a very fast rate, I'm talking about human population. As the human population is increasing at a very fast rate, so our needs are also increasing to construct more roads, buildings, factories, etc. And as the human population is increasing, so we need more food. For that we need to grow more crops. So as to meet all these needs, we human beings, we are procuring more land for cultivation, and for this we are cutting trees. And the increased rate of urbanization, which results in the cutting down of the trees so as to meet the requirements of the increasing population. Utilization of land for the industry, clearing of the forest to build roads, and wood has many uses. It is used in the furniture, paper, etc. So because of these reasons, deforestation is being done. Deforestation means cutting of the trees and using that land for the other purposes. But the deforestation has many negative impacts. Deforestation, it leads to soil erosion, it leads to change in the climatic conditions, and it also leads to destruction of the natural habitat of the animals. So what is the solution to deforestation? The only solution to deforestation is reforestation. Reforestation means restocking of forest by planting new trees. But it should be taken care that the planted tree should generally be of the same species as found in that forest. Forests have the capability to re-establish themselves naturally, but with the amount of loss done. So it is very important to plant more and more trees. And the other solution is recycling paper. We know that wood is required to make paper. A large number of trees are cut down to make paper. For example, it takes about 17 trees to make 1 ton of paper. And no alternative available to wood is as good as wood itself. For example, canaf, a member of hibiscus family, is largely being used in the paper production along with the straw, cotton and sugarcane draff. But the quality of the paper obtained is not as good as that we obtain from wood. So recycling of paper is one of the best option to minimize cutting of the forests for paper. A paper can be recycled 5 to 7 times. This also saves us from the hazardous effects of chemicals used in making paper. So the solution to deforestation is reforestation and recycling paper. Here chapter 7 is complete. Thank you.